Hey everybody, we're going to dig into this brake job and other little tasks today. We're back in the dungeon garage. It is pouring rain today, and my intentions were to have a nice quality first time GoPro video outside, but it is not going to work. Even if it set up the tent that I brought one of those big canopy deals, it's just miserable out. So we're going to try it inside. The garage is clean enough, I think, to get this done. I'll have to pull it in and then back it in to do the back brakes, which kind of stinks, but I still have stuff to clean up from the Firebird project. It's just never ending. I just have to throw stuff away, which, as a lot of you guys that watch my channel probably agree with, is difficult to throw stuff away sometimes. So we're going to pull the car in. We're going to get to the brakes. We just wanted to go over what we're doing real quick today. This video is not going to be short, by the way. In my last video, I said I couldn't remember what brake rotors I got. These are Pro Stops from Pep Boys. They were a good price. They were a great price, actually. And for you guys that have the GT Limiteds, you know that these front rotors are bigger than all the other rotors that you can get for the Legacy. So I think it's like they're over 12.4 inches maybe. I don't remember. They look like pretty nice rotors. They're heavy as all heck. So we're gonna give them a try. For the price, can't beat them. Pads, I'm going with Duralast Gold. These are ceramics. And I got a heck of a deal on these too because I had some of the AutoZone rewards points, so I had 20 bucks off of my whole purchase here. So they're pretty decent looking pads. I didn't see anything really wrong with them. So we're gonna give them a try. I decided to get brake hardware because these clips are fairly complicated looking, and they've got some kind of it looks like it's some kind of noise canceling material in the back. It's black, and I didn't want to have to clean those or worry about grime and grease in the boots and things like that. So it was like, I think 10 bucks for the fronts and 8 bucks for the rear, and I got AC Delcos from Amazon. You can see the part number there. At least I hope you can. If these aren't right for some reason, I'll let you know, but they look like they're good. So rears, same deal. Pro Stops, Duralast Golds, and then the AC Delco kit. The rear kit does not come with rubber parts, only shims, which is fine because it was like 6 bucks. We're going to do an oil change, which I probably won't go over because everyone knows how to change their oil, I hope. And you can see I'm just using, there's better oil I could use. But when you go into AutoZone and they're saying you can have a Bosch filter and 5 quarts of oil for, I think it was like 20 bucks or $19.95 or something. I mean, you can't really go wrong there. So, and my oil stays in there for such a short period of time, it'll be fine. Some brake cleaner, which I'm now realizing I probably should have got a couple cans. And then these are the bushings I got for the sway bar. Now, I did some searching online, and it's kind of confusing as to what to get. So if these don't work, so be it. But these are the 13/16, which I believe is 20 millimeter, I think. Can't do the math in my head. But anyways, these are greasable. They are split, which at first I wasn't sure that they were, because when they're sitting like that, you really can't see any lines. But they are split, so I'll be able to slip them over. If I need to do any modifications to these brackets to make them fit, I will show you that. And I'm hoping this solves some of my clunking and my excessive body roll that I have going on in the front right now. I think everything's just sloppy. These bushings are completely wallowed out on the front. I didn't get end links. I'm going to see what they look like once I'm into it. So that's that. We're going to pull the car in, get it up on jack stands in the front, start draining the oil, start tearing off the front wheels. I wanted to rotate my tires too because I was going to put the whole car up on jack stands. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen since I don't think I can get the whole car in here and work on it. So we got the other side done. We can go take a look real quick if there's enough light over there. I'm getting no help from the sun at all. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see that, but new rotor, new pads, new hardware. I hate working in here. I was hoping that the rain was going to let up a little bit, and maybe I could get some sunlight in here, but no sunlight for me today, I don't think. First thing I'm going to do before I even get into anything else is hit this hub with some PB Blaster, because it is a nice tight fit and it will rust on there. And then just going to take a brush and agitate that area. You can see stuff flaking off of it. And then I'm going to let it sit and come back to it when I get the rotor off. So the things I use to this job are, you're going to need a big screwdriver. And this is, actually I'll show you, this is just to get because if you just try to pull it off now, this ridge that is worn into the rotor is going to catch your pads and it won't let you get it off. So you want to make sure your master cylinder cap is off, and then you just want to use this screwdriver or a small pry bar and get in there any way you can, like so, and just kind of pry. Now what that's doing is it is actually compressing the pistons. It's pulling the rotor in, compressing the pistons, and now you'll notice it's loose. So I'll be able to get the rotor off no problem. Then you're going to need a 12 millimeter, a 14 millimeter. I have an 11/16 only because it's a slim wrench versus the fatter one for holding on to the caliper pin receiver side. I didn't actually need this for taking them off, but I have one here. You're going to need a torque wrench for torquing your caliper to bracket bolts back to 88.5 foot-pounds, and then your caliper to bracket, I'm sorry, what did I say? Bracket to spindle bolts, 88.5. Caliper to bracket bolts are like 19.5 or 19.8, something crazy. You'll want some type of clamp for squeezing the pistons back in. I have this kit. It's more meant for rear brakes that have parking brake assemblies installed into the caliper, but it works just as a regular pusher too. You'll see how it works. A couple of wrenches, a hammer. That's about it. So let's get to it. Nope. 14. The caliper to bracket bolts are 14. Actually, I do know why that was on there. I have a 12 on here because this bolt, which, geez, the light is terrible. There's a bolt right here that holds the hose in place. You go ahead and take that bolt out. It will allow you to move the caliper out of the way. Put it back here on the A-arm or hang it from a clothes hanger or something there. Just gets it out of the way, gives you some more room to work. Loosens that up. By the way, I don't even know if I'm going to use this footage. It all depends on what it looks like. I have a feeling it might be kind of janky. I don't know if anybody's going to want to watch it or get anything from it. Yeah, see, I didn't need that wrench to get the bolts out. This car's got no rust on it. I mean, other than the brake parts that I'm taking off right now, but I'm used to dealing with cars that, you know, the bolts are rusty and you got to worry about pulling old bolts off, but this car comes apart pretty easy. Alright, set these aside. Caliper should come off. There you have it. And then just carefully, being mindful of your ABS wire and your brake hose, just kind of lay it back there on top of your completely broken sway bar end link. Here's the pads. They don't look terrible. I mean, I guess they're getting kind of thin, but you know, I can only hope that that was my problem. If I do all this and I have wheel shake, look at that buildup in that. There's supposed to be a dust groove there. They're even. Interesting. Back to it. And there goes your light, right? You liked that for a second, didn't you? I am going to use my air gun for a second. I apologize for the loudness. to get the bracket to spindle bolts off. Interesting. Uh-oh. So the other side came right off, no problem. This side, oh, that was loud, I'm sorry. This side is not coming off at all. That makes me very nervous. Sorry about that. I panicked a little bit. You know, one of the best pieces of advice I can offer anyone, most of the people that do work, have worked on their own stuff for a while, know not to do this, but never, ever celebrate how easy something is until both sides are done. Because guaranteed, if you say, man, I can't believe how nice those bolts came out, and they're like working on a car without rusty bolts, you just ruined your day. Let me tell you. This top bolt, which is also the hardest one to get to because of this bolt, you can't get straight on it very easily. That thing was stuck in there. Oh, I gotta adjust. Was stuck in there like you wouldn't believe. And the funny thing is I don't even think the threads were stuck. I think it was stuck in this bore, and it looked like it was stuck because of thread sealant. And I don't know if you can see. Look how tore up those threads are. Even on this one. So, new bolt, actually this is the one that was stuck. You can see the head's all tore up on it now. So this one will be going on the bottom, so I can get to it easier. And I'm going to be replacing these bolts. I think they're fine. You know, they don't look like they're rusted too bad. It's just the threads are deteriorated, but that doesn't matter because that part's up in this casting. But that was, I mean, so I didn't video this because it would have been 20 minutes. I ended up spraying it with PB. I got the torch out and just heated everything up. And because I was starting to get scared that I was going to snap it. And then, you know, I'd be looking at a new caliper bracket probably because I'm not going to drill that out. I could probably just get a new bracket. You know, where am I going to do that short notice? So I did that, and then I got the 1/2-inch breaker bar with this combination of mess on it. Just so I could get it in there and go around that bolt and get on it. And I just got it to budge a hair. Just a rip, and I'm like, knew I was good, and then brought it back up and down and worked it and worked that PB blaster in there. And then once I got it all off, it was still stuck in that hole. It was, I mean, it was stuck, and it was hard to turn with a 1/2-inch ratchet. So anyway, back to the job at hand. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to spray the face of this with a little more PB, and my whole mood is just ruined right now. And I'm going to give it a scrub because you want the mating flange, or the mating surface of this bearing, the hub bearing assembly here, you want this to be clean, because if you got like a glob of stuff here and you tighten your rotor down, your rotor's not going to be quite plumb with the, you know, with the system. So that's, you can get some funky brake feel and brake wear if you're not careful. So I'm just going to clean it, get all the loose stuff off, and then I'll give it a wipe down. I'm going to clean this while I'm at it. Clean the caliper. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is, and I apologize again for the light in here. I really should have probably put some more thought into this, because you probably can't see a thing. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm using this big blank, and I'm going to stick it in there, and I'm just going to do each piston a little bit at a time. They should have their own like reservoir in the back of this, so it shouldn't hurt it. I actually don't know of any of these things that will do both. Maybe there is, I don't know. But essentially that's all you do, and you just tighten it up. Normally I'd put a brake pad in there, but because this disc is so big, I don't think it's going to hurt anything. And this is exactly why I like doing projects like this here versus at my house, because this garage might look dingy and dank and a real nightmare to a lot of you guys, but I've got everything I need in here. And even though it's a complete disaster almost all the time, I know where everything is. And like, I needed a torch, so I grabbed the torch. I needed a bunch of odd extensions, so I knew where they were. And I needed, you know, if heaven forbid I snapped the bolt and I had to try to drill and tap, I've got a whole drill and tap set over there, a whole tap and die set. So even though it's not the best working conditions, I've got everything I need here to do just about anything that I need to do. Welder, pullers, just scrap metal if I have to make a bracket. At my house, I got nothing. I got some hand tools, a couple lithium-ion power tools, some sockets, so nothing really that could get me out of a real bind like these tools can. So I'm just pushing these in. I'm not jamming them in all the way. I'm just setting them back so I can get the pads in. That's all. And it looks like I did overflow my master cylinder. Wow, I've never done that before. Okay. Interesting. Boy, there's all kinds of fails on this video, isn't there? Wonder how much stuff that's leaking on and causing all kinds of deterioration. I've never actually had a master cylinder overflow while pushing the calipers back in. I've heard that it can happen, and I'm always careful. I always take the lid off and I'll keep my eye on it. But I've never actually had, even with the big brakes on my Firebird, never had that happen. Very interesting. I mean, I certainly see why it can happen, but let's hope it doesn't. Let's hope it doesn't do that on the backs, or I will be getting a turkey baster. Fix that problem. Yeah, look at that. I got it drip all the way down. Son of a gun. Okay, so we're cleaned up. We got this cleaned up for the most part here. Just get in there a little bit longer. The next thing I'm going to do, which I'm probably going to not put in the video, is I'm going to wash down the rotor with some brake cleaner, get it ready to go, stick it on there, and then I'll pick up, I'm going to throw the hardware on the caliper bracket over here. These things, you can see why I didn't want to clean these. There's a lot to them. Look at me. I'm like a large animal trapped in a zoo here. I don't wipe these because they're rough, and I don't like getting, you know, lint all over it. I know it's stupid, but... So one thing that occurred to me with putting this rotor on is these have jack screw holes, or jack screw holes in it to push the rotor off when it's stuck. Because those holes don't make contact with this flange, there's a raised area, a little raised circle, that kind of where rust has grown into that hole location. The kind of dawned on me that if you don't clock the rotor the same as the one you took off, you could technically have a little unevenness there. So I'm going to clock this rotor so that it matches up 100% like the one I took off. I don't know if that makes any difference, but I don't care. Doing it anyway. At this point I would normally throw a nut on it. I don't think I have any nuts that... I don't think that's the exact right size, but it's not hurting it. And it'll hold that thing in place for me. I'm pretty sure these are metric threads, and I'm pretty sure that's a standard nut, but see how loose it is? It's not going to hurt anything. It's just something to keep this, because if this doesn't stay, if it starts to fall over, causes you big problems when you're trying to put it all together. Okay. Alright, so next is hardware. Now, I'm not gonna, you guys are gonna maybe yell at me for this too, but I'm not actually going to replace these rubber boots. I looked at them, they're not ripped, they're not torn, these pins slide beautifully, no noise, no movement. They're good, they're fine, I'm just gonna leave it. I'll keep the boots around if I ever have a problem, but I'm gonna replace these. And you get a better look at that material on the back. I'm not sure what that is exactly, but it's there. I'm assuming it has something to do with noise. So this one here has these long tabs. We're just going to pull it off. Long tabs, match it up to this one. You can see the packaging from Amazon kind of leaves a little to be desired here. So that's that one. Matches up. Get rid of that. This goes on here. Just carefully press it into place. Get the pad sliding area all the way down in, like so. And then the top one. I'd like to just double check, make sure they're the same. They are. Don't think there's a left and right side on these, but it appears as though there is a, you know, top versus bottom on the caliper. I love these sliding clips because on my Jeep, my lifted Jeep, it doesn't have these. It has the pads slide in the casting, and that just causes wear like crazy. And I actually found some. They actually sit over the casting. They don't ride in it. But I found some hardware kits that snapped over that and still left enough clearance for the pad to slide to kind of almost repair it, because there would be like, from the pads kind of sitting in this area moving back and forth, it would wear like a thing and eventually cause like a weird notchy breaky movement thing. So these are really nice because you just pop some new ones on for a few bucks and there you go. You're like brand new mating surface for your pads. So we're gonna put this back together. I don't know. This is probably not that groundbreaking or anything. I mean, I am using some blue Loctite. I think there was probably something on these to begin with. Just using blue because, just because. And plus, I'm replacing these. I'm definitely going to put new bolts in this one of these days soon. I really hope you guys can see. I'm kicking myself for not doing something better with the lighting. So you just align this with the holes. And which bolt is this? This one's going to the bottom. Ugh, man. What a mess these bolts are. Screwed in perfect. And what the hell, Subaru? Like, why would you... Couldn't you have moved this bolt just a little bit to make it so you can get a wrench on it with the strut bolt in the way? Come on now. Okay, now I'm going to have to find the right combination of socketry. Get it as tight as I can first here. Okay. Does this go up to... I was using my 1/2 inch, but I think I'm going to use my 3. This doesn't go up high enough. Shoot. Okay. So we'll just use this contraption, I guess. I hate this torque wrench. I need a new torque wrench so bad. I'm just going to get it snug and then do the top one. Try to tighten them up at the same time. we go. That's not awkward. Okay. Okay. Rotor should be nice and centered, no interference with the little plates. Now we got to put the pads on. Pads I'm just going to grab, lay them here for a second. I don't know what to what capacity the brake lube works with these, because everything's got a shim and a backing and a, so I don't know. It's what I do is with this stuff is I just put, and I mean a little bit, just kind of tiny bit on these ears, because these ears do slide in those metal things. I'm careful not to get it on the stinking pad surface. Just a little bit, and it might not do anything, but I feel better inside. Used to be you coated everything, but what I do is I coat. See, both of these have that. I guess that's a rattle clip. What I do is I coat, instead of just coating the whole back of this thing, I coat the caliper, because the whole back of this pad doesn't get contacted, right? It gets, one of them gets 2 circles, and the other one gets like one of these deals, you know, like a W shape. So I don't put the, because all that does is it just attracts brake dust and grime, so that when you do this next time, you know, you got caked on crap. But all right, let's see which one, and you can just look at the back of the pads there to see which side gets which pad. So this is the inner pad that gets the pistons, and I'm assuming that this clip kind of goes in first, and it almost hooks into place. It's kind of weird. I really hope I'm doing that right. Did I put lube on this one? No. What I'm trying to figure out here is this thing here. I don't know if it's supposed to just go like that, or if this is supposed to hook around that shim. I don't think it can hook around the shim, especially with these pads being new. They're so thick. I'm going to put this together and hope I'm doing it right. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this together, hope I'm doing it right. Then at lunch, I'm going to go check. And if I'm not doing it right, I'll do it again. How's that? Yeah, I don't know if it's just... Am I doing that right, guys? Just jam that up in there? Or do I have to do something more tedious and hook it somewhere? And that seems like it's nice. They kind of look like they're doing something. I'm going to call that good. Okay, so what we got next is the caliper goes on. Snake this back out. And I should have enough hose to bring it out to my knees here. And then this is when I just take a big old glob of this stuff and I just coat the inside of this mating surface. And if you look around the back, you'll see where the pad actually sits. It doesn't go all the way down to the base of this bracket. I do that, and then I just rub some around this whole area, this whole rim. I was really hoping to be done the front brakes by now. It's got to be getting close to noon, I think. No, it can't be that late. Okay. So, make sure you're not twisting your brake hose funny, which it doesn't look like I am. And then you slide it on and hope that you pushed your pistons in far enough, because you're already bleeding brake fluid out everywhere. There you go. Grab your bolts, make sure you get the right ones. Sorry, I know that's not much of a shot there. There you go. Then what I'm probably going to do is go in and just pump the pedal a couple times to help relieve some of that fluid. I'll be able to tell right away. If it doesn't go down any, I'm definitely going to have to strip some out. I think, you know what I'm thinking is most of the time when we do brakes, who actually, you know, after their pads have worn halfway, tops off their brake fluid? Not many people, I'm going to guess. And I'm going to guess that because this vehicle always gets serviced at the dealer, that the dealer's been topping up the brake fluid. And now that I'm putting new pads in, I think it is overfilled, needless to say. So I might have to suck some of that out of there. No big deal. Now on the other side, I didn't have to actually hold the inner part. I was able to just tighten it up. Yeah, it's only 20 foot-pounds, I think. Yeah, or 18 or something, 18, 20. Which doesn't feel like enough, but it is. There you have it. Oh yeah, one more bolt here. Let's put this back in. Or try to, without cross-threading it. I really hope the back ones go smoother. Oh, did you notice, I don't know if you didn't notice, I got the car all the way in. And it's a good thing because it was just pouring a little bit ago. And there we go. So there you have it. Come on, straighten out. There you go. There you have it. Brakes are done on the front. You can take these off of there. You know, I'll leave them on until I pump the brakes. So let's give the brakes a pump here and see what we get.